Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. Sorry about the noise in the background, I got the heater going, but been doing some work on, you guessed it, the Z here, 300ZX. This is my, well, shop is full for business right now, but I got the 300ZX in here. This is a 1986, and originally I had it in here because it would start, install, and the problem was the airflow meter was shot, so you can't get those new anymore. Luckily I found one in a place in Edmonton, Alberta. Eskimo Auto Parts had one and it works. It's buried way down in there, so it was a pain to get to, but it runs good now. The reason for this video is, as you can see, I got the car partly gutted. Can't remember if I videoed before, but I'm actually working on the stereo again now. I put that deck in here a while ago. It's a Kenwood deck, works good, but and it's powering speakers. I've got some kicker 6.5 inch in the doors, and then the car had Sony's, so there's some decent Sony's in the rear. I built this box, never did completely finish it. Subwoofer box with just an Alpine Type S 12 inch. Works great, good for my use, but a while back I got this used Alpine amp as well. This is the amp that runs the sub. And the way it's set up, it puts out 400 watts, and that's 400 watts, and that's enough for me. I got this used Alpine amp. It is a MRP F250, and I can't remember if it's 40 watts per channel. I'd have to look it up again, but what I'm doing is I'm rewiring it so that the door and rear speakers run off of that amp. Now originally I was going to put them under the seat, but there's only that much space under the seat, so I'm going to be mounting them in the back of the sub box. A lot of people will say, oh, you can't mount amps to the sub box, but this sub box is built super beefy. It's got bracing inside, it's not going to vibrate, and this amp was mounted on the side for a long time and it didn't die, and if I do kill the amp, so it gives me an excuse to buy a new one. So like I say, I'm just in the process of rewiring. Pulled out the old, it's only 8 gauge, 2 pieces bodged together, 8 gauge wire for the amp, and I bought a kit off of Amazon. Now another thing, die-hard stereo guys are gonna balk at this, but I got this new concept wiring kit. It is CCA, which is copper clad aluminum, not as good as the oxygen free copper, but it's oversized. It's true 4 gauge. I think it's 10% copper, 100 amps max load. I'm not going to be coming anywhere near it, because like I say, this guy, the way it's wired, you can even see 40 amp fuse, and that's usually a good way to indicate the power output. So 400 watts, even though it says 1000 watts max power, which is baloney. And this guy has 2 15 amp fuses, so between the two, if I was running full out, I might get 700 watts out of it, but I don't expect much more than 600. So this 4 gauge kit, even though it's copper clad aluminum, is going to be just fine. So far, I don't know if there'll be enough light. If you can, you can't see under there, but I've got it. I don't know if you can see. There you go. You can see it in there. I got it run down, tied down, runs all the way back. Sorry about this. Under the seat, fastened down, and as you saw before, it's kind of popped out the back. So the next step is to get that seat out, just to make it easier. my old RCA. I realized I run it down the center here. So I'm going to take this seat out, make it easier, and take the whole center console out. And then I can pull the deck and the dash out and get the new RCAs. Because I got some low profile ones. The kit came with some nice, and these are pure copper, some twisted pair ones. And then I just got some of these as well, 17 footers, so that'll be more than enough. So actually, I think the first thing I'll do is I am going to figure out how I'm going to get the amps mounted on here, because it's not quite enough space along here to mount them. So I'm going to horse around and I'll show you what I get figured out. Well, this is what I've come up with for a solution. I was originally going to get another piece of MDF and put it across here, and I thought I'll just mount some aluminum angle on each side, and that'll catch, I've only done one side, I still got to do this side, and that'll catch the edges like this. Screw hole, I don't know if you can see it's down there, so I can kind of bump this out like that. It's not going to be all the way down necessarily. So that one will go there. Actually, I think I'm going to have the RCAs come up the middle. Kind of hard to do this while filming. You can see that one will catch there, bolted, and this one will probably sit right about there. And then, like I say, the RCAs can come up the middle and plug into the inputs, and then, well, I haven't decided yet. Or maybe the powers will come up the middle and the RCAs will come to the outside. We'll see. Either way, that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to make this other bracket, and once I finish this box, I think I'm going to use, I was going to carpet it, but I think I'm just going to give it a good body work, sand it and all that, fill these holes that are left over from the original amp mount, and maybe just do a nice bed line job. We'll see. But I'm going to get that other bracket mounted, or made and mounted, and we'll just see how it looks with the amps permanently installed. Alright, I got both amps mounted. Now, this isn't the hardware I'm going to leave in there, that's obviously no good. I'm going to get some proper screws that I can come from this side, put a nice nut on, maybe some black oxide hex head or something. It's not so bad on this side. These have to be like a wood screw, but I'll maybe put some nut certs in or something. I threw these in just for testing purposes. And also I'm going to actually pull these off again when I'm ready to finish this. Glue it and then screw it back on so they're super solid, but I think that's going to work out okay. I got them raised up so there's some room along the bottom edge to run wire for cable management. The RCAs will probably, they're going to come up the middle of the car, so they'll probably come right up here in both sides. Power's going to come from one side on the 4 gauge, and then where is it? Somewhere, I think. I've got a distribution slash fuse block. There's the fuses. There it is. One of these guys. So the 4 gauge is going to come into this and then out on 2 8 gauges, because that's enough. And let's see, it comes down this side of the car, so that would be on here. So it'll probably pop up and then maybe mount the block on this wood. The reason this is like this is so that the box can't move side to side, but I had to cut it out because the bump up in the shock towers. So I kind of did that because I had plans to put amps on both sides, but I decided like I originally had. Let me show you. This is the bracket I had the Kenwood mounted on before, and it was mounted like this. and the amp sat sideways. And I was thinking I would do that on both sides for the one for the Alpine too. And I may do that in the future, but I'm just decided to do a little more quick and dirty job. And I think this will work out just fine. It'll keep the cables hidden more. So, and as well, I'll still be able to pop this cover off, get all the adjustments on both sides pretty easily. So next step is to finish gutting this interior so I can run the new RCA cables. So maybe I'll do a time lapse of me doing that. We'll see. Alright, got the seat out, and now I'm just trying to remember. I'm pretty certain that I pulled the whole center console out and moved it aside, so I gotta figure out how I did that. Pretty sure I'll have to take all this crap out, and I think there's some screws here and a screw under that ZX logo. So let's empty this out and see what we find. Good time to do a cleanup, I guess. Shifter knob, sunglasses, random receipts, bolt. Let's see, screwdriver, more receipts. I think I may have stuck this down with some double-sided tape. There they are. The sun's kind of blasting it out, so 3 in there, I think. Don't think there is anything along here. I'm going to take the opportunity. This all had carbon fiber sticker on. I think maybe I'll clean all that off as well. Get it back to the nice old school aluminum. But I'm pretty sure if I pop this off without breaking it, I guess I could always 3D print a new one if I had to. Oh, there. Yeah, there's 2 tabs broke now. Oh well. And yeah, 2 screws down there. So let's get those yanked out. Hopefully I don't have to pull the shifter knob off too. Okay, I got the center console out. I was wrong. Well, I was right, but not. There was also a screw right there. I had to pull the switch panel off, which is fine, because then I can take this carbon fiber off. There was a screw hidden under there, and then just the wiring disconnected. This pulled through the hole. I think I will have to pull the shifter knob off because I want to, like I say, clean up this aluminum. Sorry, you're not in frame. So the next step, let me get this out of the way. Oops, is to get the dash off, and in order to get at the back side to run new RCA cables. You can see I kind of tucked it under the carpet there, and then just kind of ran it around the shifter. So I got, instead of a single, I got 3 of them to do. Get these dashes apart. It's actually fairly straightforward. There's a screw there. You can see those are non-factory screws because they were missing, but one there, and then I don't know if I'll be able to video it. Let's see if I can. Yeah, you can see it, and there's a couple under there, and then this whole center unit will come out. So let's get that pulled out next. Also, this isn't a how-to video, but make sure you have your battery negative terminal disconnected before you do anything like this. Okay, I got the lower part out right here. So like I say, just those 2 screws. There's my Bluetooth mic, and then 3 connectors, one for the cigarette lighter, and then the lights. Then once you get at that, there's 4 more screws. One down here, one under, sorry, shifter's in the way. Hard to see, the sun's blasting in the window. One there, and then, where are you? There's 2 more up underneath. Let's see if I can see it there. Another one over there. So we'll pull those 4 out, and then the rest of this will come out. We'll be able to get to the back of the deck. And there you have it, a giant rat's nest of wires. The unit's removed. I may actually get some aluminum paint and paint this just so it matches the rest of it. And here's what I needed to get to, is the back. So that's why I need 3 cables. Let's see, this should be labeled, but it's hard to see. This is rear, front, and subwoofer. Now unfortunately my amp doesn't have a bass knob, but I might do something, get one of those inline ones that goes on the RCA cable. You can buy them, but I might build one if I have the proper potentiometer. If I do, I'll show you that in a video. And you can see under the passenger seat a whole bunch of stuff. And this stuff is the factory anti-theft. This car is 1986 and it has factory anti-theft in it. This is the 86 300ZX 2+2, and I think it's the GLL model, so it's the pretty much, this was the loaded one. Hence, this was the factory amplifier for the stereo, but the stereo was shot. So that's why you can, if you can see in here, there's some extra cables that are kind of bundled up. That went for the factory amplifier. And this is all just dash lights and everything, cigarette lighter, more of the dash stuff. This stuff, don't think one of these connectors was in use, the other wasn't, because this was part of the stereo. This is the new stereo, and here is the old RCA cable that is coming out as well, and you can see a blue wire that runs along here. That's the amp turn on. So I'm going to call this video now. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any more of this tonight. We'll see. But since I've got this car apart, I might take the opportunity to see if I can order up a short throw shifter. I think the 240SX ones work, because this is like driving a truck. It's got so much throw. So I know you could say, you can just shorten the shaft, but that doesn't work. So I'm going to go look on eBay. I'm sure that is what you can use to replace the factory shifter. So I'm going to call this video for today, and the next update will have all the cables run and everything back together. So until then, take care and talk to you later.